Gossip Talk Shows family. Is Nomsa here at Gossip Talk Shows. Find your own voice, lead from within.
Can't hear you.
How are you guys? With me today, I'm with Shireen Love Groove, Carol Ann Cooper, and Kamau Emma. How are you guys?
Good, thank you.
Good,
Good, thanks.
Hot, but good.
Yourself?
Yeah.
I'm good, thank you. Very
Good.
hot, but good.
Yeah.
Can't complain. So the topic today is, can anyone actually give you 100% of their love, or is that even possible? Or is it something we tell ourselves in movies or songs? This is what I've edited, guys. So in this video, we're going to unpack what really means to love someone with your whole heart. We will explore emotional limits and human imperfections, and whether the idea of totally love is a beautiful truth or is romantic illusion. So what do you think, guys?
Shireen, you chose the topic.
Shireen?
Wow.
Yes.
I think it wasn't me who chose it at all. I was just
You highlighted it as a
nominated.
good one to have like, at the end of last week.
I could see it coming, and I thought, oh well, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a really interesting topic because it's the follow-on from last week, isn't it? And we had, and in the topic was, can we give 100% of our love to anybody? And Nomsa was very much about, no, we can't. And so I suppose what really was coming in on that was the idea that when we, if we're giving, say, 80%, we need to be giving 100% of that 80%, right? Of whatever it is that we're giving. So whatever we're giving in that moment in time, we should be giving 100%. It doesn't mean to say in the view of things, that means we can't love other things as well and have other things. And I think what was really the sticking point of the last week was the idea that we don't feel complete if it's not 100%. And so that was something that was really going on for me while I was thinking about this topic and thinking, is it realistic to expect someone to match, or even helpful to match, all our emotional needs, right? So we're saying, oh, I love this person loves me. Are they giving me 100% love? Well, is it realistic to expect that? Is it realistic to expect them in the moment to give you 100% of their time and their attention? Yes, but is it right to expect that they would give you all their love and to have that as a full expectation that, oh, I'm satisfied, I'm enough, right? So for me, it was really about, what is that about? Is it, emotional interdependence and emotional dependency? Where do these two meet, and can we work in a way or understand how to utilize that? And I was really thinking about probably people that have been wounded, certainly in a sense of my own inner traumas. How did I view love at one time? And my one was, hey, I don't pay attention to any love really, because at that point I didn't really believe that anybody could love me fully. Now, do I expect someone to love me fully? And did I ever expect someone to love me fully? No, because I know that it's for me, it's virtually impossible for someone to give fully their love. I can see that they in the moment, and that they can really love you, but I don't have the expectation that they wouldn't love something else as equally, right? So my idea is like when I was doing a meditation today, I was thinking about loving, and the commandment was love God with all your heart, all your might, and all your being, right? And I think I love my partner from that spiritual source of all my love, all my heart, all my being. But hey, there's things that piss me off, right? And
Yes.
how do I sit with this idea of, there's things that piss me off about you, and how do I love you with all my heart, all my being, when you damn well piss me off, right?
Yeah.
So
Uh,
I suppose it's really about this idea is, can we do it? And if we're not able to do it, even in those moments where people really irritate the hell out of you, then there's something else about that kind of love that you're expecting or wanting from someone. So that was where my thinking was going. And I suppose when I started to start talking, that's when I started reflecting back on something else where I was kind of getting information coming in for myself or my inner soul saying, oh, no, but you can do it, which is very interesting. That's the total flip of what I
Right,
was
yeah.
thinking about.
Yeah.
Look, oh, right. We can give love completely.
And you're right in that sense. And I think one of the important parts about love between, and I'm going to put it between quotation here, is that we have to define what love is. So each person has their own definition of love. And whether it's emotional, intellectual, logical, we all define love differently. And no matter what our definition is, that's how we can consider the let's put it the numbers, the percentage of that love that we can give. And I agree with you. Yes, you can give somebody 100% of your love in your way, right? It's your way of describing what love entails, what it combines, how it's expressed, and even if you get pissed off at your partner, these are things that are part of the deal, if we put it this way. Um, you can the I do believe that 100% it's quantifying something that is not very much quantifiable. You're quantifying a word that has a definition of expression. Yes, we all know about the different types of love, right? How to receive love, whether it's by touch, by presence, and by gifts, and etc., etc. However, that doesn't include your specific definition either, right? And I think that's the interesting part when it comes to love itself. If you look at the relationships that one has during life, that teenage love is not the same as when you grow up and you have another partner when you're 20 or 30 or 40 or 50. That love definition changes with time as much as how it's expressed. That if we talk about the teenage love, that first butterfly in your stomach and getting all red and shy and all of these emotions going through you, the next person you fall in love with doesn't necessarily give you that same internal feeling. You can start loving a person differently. You can love a person for what they represent. And so it is possible. And at the same time, I don't like the quantification of it. But that's where I stand anyway.
Yeah, I hear you on that. It's like, yeah, it's something. How do you quantify something that isn't actually quite? It's quite etheric, isn't it? And
Yeah.
it's more to it than just a number or a quantity of something. Yeah. And there's a question that sort of came up when I was sort of researching around this and looking into it. It's like, what if love isn't something you receive in percentages, but a living energy you co-create?
Mm.
And I thought, what a beautiful question to ask, because love is something that it starts off in one way, but then it changes and shifts, doesn't it? Over time, within a relationship. But I also love what you were saying, Shireen, about, and I hadn't thought about this, if you're giving 80%, you could give 100% of that 80%. It's like, oh, I hadn't thought about it in those terms. It's like giving all that you have got. Because actually, when I started to look into this topic this morning and start thinking about it, what came to my mind was, well, the thing is, if you don't love yourself 100%, how can you love someone else 100%? You know, because then you don't know how much you love yourself. And this is something we're often talking about, isn't it? About self-love. So where does that come into it as well? So again, how do you quantify this 100%, 90% or amount of love that you're giving? And sort of a few other questions came to mind as well. What does it really mean? You know, can anyone truly give you 100% of their love? What does it look like? What does it feel like? How do you know? You know, it's like that question came to mind. And another sort of question is like, are we measuring love in a way that's helping us grow or setting us up actually for disappointment? So that comes down to expectations, doesn't it? Is there an expectation? It has to be a certain way. And if it doesn't come to that, then, oh my goodness, what a disappointment. So yeah, I think it's a great topic to explore. And so sort of one question that arises here is, where does this idea come from? You know, of 100% give your all. And I guess there's things that, you know, like you read in fairy tales or you hear in the media or other sort of teachings, and that there's always this love that's like, you know, giving 100%. So this, like, we're sort of indoctrinated in some thinking, some myth that there is this 100% love that you can or should be giving. So, you know, where does it come from? And maybe let's sort of dispel those myths and transform them into looking at it in some other way, so that we're not setting ourselves up for disappointment, but actually setting ourselves up for something that is growing. It's got a life of its own and that is actually exciting and vibrant. Yeah. So how would that look like? You know, what would that look like? How would we get that? No.
That
Obviously, you're
concept,
muted.
that concept that you're talking about, is quite interesting, right? Where does it come from, and how do you, how does it evolve? It makes it more, it makes it more tangible, because we're talking about love, right? Love, purpose, all of that is not really something that is tangible. It's something that you go through a process and you feel, in a sense. So yeah, I like that.
I like it when you Sharina said talks about quantity. Is it really possible to love someone 100%?
Can you get your mic closer to you, Numsa?
Yeah, I think where it's sitting is not great.
Can you hear me now?
Better.
Okay. Okay, it says it's 100%. It should be as loud, and I've got this thing pointing at my mouth.
Well, if you keep your hand there, it'd be very useful, I think.
Where, here?
Yeah, like that.
Like
It's
that.
yeah.
That holds it right next to your mouth.
But it doesn't move though.
Well, the thing is, it seems to be directing straight at your mouth, so it's easier for us to hear.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I think I liked it when Shireen said you love your spouse, but there are things that pisses you off about him and stuff. But I think those things are human. That's normal. You can't. I think what basically this topic is, Carol Annie, you said, is love measured or in a way that we are measuring with the percentage or is an energy. For me, I believe that life is an energy. Love is an energy that is within someone. It's not measured, but it is measured. Like when I speak to my clients differently, because I have to ask why they divorced, those who are divorced. But when I find that, like in their relationship, there was some of them, there was nothing wrong in the relationship, but they thought that 20% that was missing, They think that small thing that was missing, they could find someone that carries all those qualities that they're looking for. But for me, there's no such thing as someone having, I might have the tick all the boxes that someone is looking for, but then when I'm in the house living with them, I might leave the toilet seat in a different position, or I might leave the shower down. It might piss someone off. It's all those little things that people actually that are in a good relationship that they see it as no enough. And I like Kamal when you said that was Carol Ann. You said if you don't love yourself 100%, or was it Kamal? Who was that?
Yeah, that was Caroline.
Yeah,
Caroline.
Carol Ann, you said if you don't love yourself 100%, how can you expect it to love someone? Which is 100% true, that you actually have to work on yourself. I was talking to someone a few months ago, and they were telling me how their husband pisses them off, and then I said to them, I gave her like tips. I said to her, why don't you go home today with a different energy, different mindset? Imagine if your husband were to leave home and you receive a phone call that they will never return home again. Just imagine that part. What would that make you feel? And then imagine you're at home and they're leaving socks on the floor. And you pick them, those socks, you feel so angry that they did not put those socks in the washing machine. But when you need them to come home at 6 o'clock, they open the door. They say, hi, honey, I'm home. So what would that make you feel? What is important in your life? And then she went home and she said, Nomsa, actually, I've never looked at life that way. I am never, ever going to complain anymore. Because there are little things that actually pisses us off when it comes to people. But if we just not to overlook them and just accept people, like Carol Ann said, love is energy. God is love. He's actually represent love. Are we all perfect? No, but we don't piss him off. He doesn't he demands like perfection from us, but he also, when we acknowledge our faults, and he actually accepted. So for me, like, I'm a relationship coach, a matchmaker. I cannot be expected to deliver 100%, because I can love someone in my heart or my all in all. But now it's up to that person whether do they actually believe that they are loved 100%. Because in your heart, you can actually love that person. But now is the expectations. Can you deliver it 100% to that person for them to be satisfied? So this is where I think the question is, for me as a person, I can't give it 100%. I can't satisfy someone 100%.
That's an interesting statement there.
Yeah, I can't love someone
satisfy someone
100%.
100% of the time.
I can love in my heart, I can. But with my action, like giving and doing, I know they'll never be satisfied. I can't satisfy them. They have to satisfy themselves first in order for them to receive the love that I give. Because no matter how much I give, if they don't love themselves, it's always going to be maybe 80, even if it's 100. So love comes from within, not from the other person.
So there's something about experiencing the idea that someone gives you 100% love, and there's about you giving. So we've got a definite difference in definition here already. And while I was kind of listening to all of you, I loved what was really important is how do we define an unquantifiable, right? An undefinable. We can't quantify something. we can quantify something in the sense of a direct relationship, but we can't quantify something that is kind of like, if we think about energy and quantum energy, it's endless, right? It's an endless energy, so we can't quantify that. And so what I started to think about as I was starting to believe and look at that and think about what you were saying, Nomsa, what struck me was you were talking about what are the qualities, the qualities that someone has. We might, and certainly in the working, as a relationship coach, we can't, someone can't have the 100% qualities, right? Because we are all different. So I think that's maybe where this question was all going, and we kind of jumped on in a different way. I think it's then what's the 20% that we're willing to live with, right? Willing to accept about this human being. My partner finds it difficult to make decisions, right? Am I okay with it? Where does that mean I've got to grow and step up and make those decisions, right? And that may be more about, why did I put myself in this situation that I have somebody that's a not decider, right? What do I need to do where I might not be deciding? And maybe at that point, I need to come forward for this relationship to be 100%, right? So that was something that was starting to kick in for me. And I thought maybe there was a mismatch in how we interpreted love. And when we started this topic, not now, but the other day, what then motivated this. But I did really get a deep sense is that I do believe that we truly can love someone perfectly. We truly can love someone 100%. Our highest self can do that. If we can love God 100%, then we can love another human being 100%. It just is that when we have our everyday to day life, that where things wear us down, that it's harder to bring that force of energy towards the person that we're struggling with right now in front of us. So I think this is about matching something that is our highest self, and with our lowest self, or the self that struggles or gets depleted of energy, how to bring that energy together so that it matches enough that you can do that almost in a continuum in your life. And that was what was really triggering for me as I was thinking that. So yes, I think you can have a perfect love. I think you can be a perfect love. If someone can receive that perfect love, that's another question. Can they receive it? And the only way they can receive it is if they can love perfectly themselves, right? If they can love you in that perfect love of total acceptance, of total beingness. And at the same time, be aware, hey, there are some shortcomings that you might need to work on, right? That might be a bit of a challenge, but that doesn't stop me loving you. That doesn't stop me seeing you for the being, the essence that you are, that human being that it has the flaws, but the God that sits inside, the soul that sits inside. If we can do that, then even when things are triggering us, then that certainly gives us a space for that possibility of perfect love. But again, perfect love is not about whether someone has the qualities that we want.
It's more about you've used the right word. It's acceptance.
It's an acceptance, yes.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
It's that acceptance, I think, that allows us that 100%. Like you were mentioning, you love someone 80% and 20% that bothers you. It's you living with that bothersome percentage and accepting it and being okay with it, that allows you to fulfill that 100%, if we want to say it in that way. And you kind of really pointed it out here, and it's really. And another thing that Nomsa was talking about is it's when you come home, and if that person were to disappear straight away, how would your life be? Would you feel that something is missing? Would you feel that that person just filled a small void of your life? Would you go on with your life without anything at all? no difference whatsoever. And when you realize that, no, you know what, I want those socks here. It's nice to just have a nag with someone. It's just like just go there and just do a bite or whatever, you know. And you have those that, okay, they're in a relationship, and especially those that are going through the divorce or get divorced, and then they realize that, you know what, I have done my share of how I can love you my way, but I can't live with those 20% because they're the worst part of a human being, right? Just, I'm exaggerating in everything, right? Then once that person leaves, it's a relief for those that have given their 100%, right? And accepted certain things and then realize that, well, it's not accepted, right? It's not, they want me to love them differently, right? But that means also that that other person is not giving 100%. Now we're talking individually here. Once that person leaves, that is not accepting of your kind of love, it's a relief. It's almost like a whole massive debt was on your shoulder. It's like paying a debt that you have. I don't know if anybody has had that feeling. I remember the feeling of paying off a complete debt in one go. I slept like a baby that night. I think it was about eight, 9,000 pounds. And I got the cash and I was like, here's my debt. I went and paid it around like, I don't know, midday or something. And then at night, I went to bed around 9. I wasn't tired. I went to bed. I woke up the next day at 12.
Wow.
I was like, I'm lighter now. And that's how it feels when one is in a relationship where that 100% love that you have given is not accepted, where you feel that those 20% that are missing are the factor of internal pain to you personally. And so acceptance is very important. Coming back to Shireen's point, the acceptance of oneself. We are perfectly imperfect, and so all of our imperfections are what make us unique. And if we manage to love ourselves with all our imperfections and accepting that, you know what, I'm really not good at that. Fine. Partner, you good at that? Yeah, you take over. Then we can be at 100% ourselves and 100% of our love because we can relieve. And I think this is also important in that giving that 100% love is being able to relieve the the points that stress us, the points that we struggle with, the imperfections that we cannot do on ourselves, or that we cannot do ourselves, and allow our partner to be able to do them if they can do them, obviously. If not, then you just hire somebody. Uh, and I think that's the whole concept of how to give 100% love. That's my opinion of how I see it anyway.
I sort of keep going back to this wording, give you 100% of their love, or you give 100% of your love. It's almost like, to me, there feels like there's a drain in just that phrasing because you're giving. And that word should comes into my mouth. It's like I hesitate to use it. But what feels more flowing is more a sharing rather than a giving, because in that sense, to me, it's that what that word means. You're giving, but there's no coming back. So it's
You
like
can give
you give it
excess,
over. So I
right?
think it's,
You can
but
give
it's
excess, but I think I know where you're going there. I would
it's me. I have a picture of it.
I
It's
see it.
something
I see what
blossoming.
you
It's like
mean.
you're
Yeah.
sharing in that love, and it's 100, but it's 100% there. You're not withholding,
How about offering?
you know, offering. Yeah. In a sense,
That
it's
makes
offering, it's
sense.
having it there. But I think it's also looking in terms of what is it you're giving? What is that 100% love look like? I think that comes back to those questions I had in the beginning. What does it look like? Feel? How do you know? And I think it comes down to sort of are they present with you? You know, is there a presence? Are you together that way? Or are they sort of, when you're talking, half their mind is somewhere else? Are they with you emotionally, mentally, when you're together? But are they actively helping the relationship to grow, even in the smallest way? And so, like you, Shireen, was saying, there's things that you sort of accept with your husband because there's a way that you work with it that enables your relationship to grow and to blossom in having those little niggles or those imperfections, So are you actively nurturing the relationship so it can actually grow? And actually, where I was saying about is that withholding, are there lies, are you truthful? Are you honest and open? And is there a safety in being able to express yourself, what you're feeling and what's happening for you? Because if you feel that you can't do that, then really there isn't 100% love there. You're not being given it and you're being given it. So it's being able to have that safe space. So for me, isn't that part of someone giving you 100% of their love, for want of coming back to the actual title, or sharing with you, or what was the word you used?
Offering.
Come on, offering. It's that listening, it's that being with that person 100% and not withholding. So for me, I think that's quite an important part of, and yes, you can do that. That is possible, I think. And if that isn't there, or you find you're struggling with that, you can work on that, because that's something you can work towards, and that's what can help it grow. So you have that awareness, where there's withholding or something. So I think, yeah, in that sense, it's possible. Oh,
I like it, what Shireen said, acceptance. I think, and also it links to Kamal's declaration where he paid his debt, and when he paid his debt, there was this big relief. And he also mentioned that, that relief is when someone, that they have not accepted you, and they are trying to recreate you to something that is not you. When they leave, there's this beautiful, strong relief that, oh, they are gone. I am free. I've been in prison. It's because they have not accepted the real you. That's why Shireen is this word, the acceptance. That's where it comes in. And it also links to Carol Ann. Carol Ann said, are they present with you? Are they actively nurturing the relationship to grow? Are they being truthful in that space of a relationship? Are they being truthful to you, to the relationship? Because everything is just acceptance. So when they're being truthful, it means that they're like, this is a place where I rather be. I rather not be somewhere else, but I rather be with this person. It means that they accept you, surrender, and these two energy, they accept each other. They are linked together. Even during the argument, these two energy, because they've accepted each other, the two people that are not perfect. They accepted their imperfection. They accepted each other for who they are, and they are building life together. Even during conflict, that energy cannot be broken. And that's why Sharina was describing that my spouse annoys me, but I rather be with him than being with someone else. Because to her, there's these two energies that have surrendered to each other to say, you know what, We are not perfect, but we know what we're building here. We're building a future. We're imagining us doing this together, doing this, fighting conflict and fixing things and forgiving each other. And then we are okay with it. And to me, I think that is love, when these two energy accept each other. Because love is energy. Whether we like it or not, it's energy. It's not the things that we do. It's these two people who surrendered in spirit and in the physically to say, yeah, I hear you. I connect with your world. My world is not perfect, but you can stay in it because you are being accepted. But where love cannot be 100% is where someone is not satisfied with what they have and they're trying to change you to something. That's what Kamal said, something that you're not. It's either they can be abused in that relationship because they're trying to recreate you and your energy does not agree with this Kamal that is being created. Kamal says, I'm not that though, I'm this. I want to remain in this space. I want to grow, but I don't want to remain in that space that you want me to be. So I think that's how I see it myself.
Yeah, lots of things came up for me, and everyone, the stuff that everyone said. Like Caroline, I suppose what came and really flagged up for me when you were talking about the word give and what it meant for you and the meaning making that you created there. And I just immediately thought, well, what are we gifting rather than what are we giving? What are we gifting to someone? Because when we gift something, we don't have an expectation of getting the gift back, right? We just give it. We gift it to this person as the blessing. And it's the blessing we give. When we love someone, it's the blessing we give to them, right? So we're literally blessing someone. That's my belief. Anyway, I believe we bless someone when we love them. So if we're blessing them, then it's a place of what I think is our higher order, our higher or soul essence that's talking and giving from that perspective. And it feels good, no matter what. It feels good. So even if you're in the middle of a damn argument and you stop and you go, what would love have me do here? What would love have me do? And you'll probably hear a deeper inner voice say, take a breath, calm down. You are reacting. Change, just do something. Change. This is not love. And it's not about this is not love coming to you. You are not loving that person in front of you. And that's the thing that's really important. What is love wanting me to do right now in this moment when I'm reacting because this person's damn well telling me the truth, right? And that's true. That's from my partner. He does say a few things that are true, and I don't want to hear them. But yeah, what will love have me do in that moment? Yeah, I don't want to fight. What love would have me is just take a breath and listen and come back and say, hey, I'm not ready to hear this right now, but let me process it. Let me go through it. Let me work. Let me find a way that I can deal with it in a particular way so that I can come back to you on it. But that's how we've got to find that relationship, isn't it? We've got to be able to say, what is love? What do we define love as? And then how do we let love rule us? How do we let love flow through us, right? So that we can be the perfect love for someone else. And when we don't experience it, I think we need to look first and foremost, where is our accountability within that? Because maybe we've got lazy in love, right? Maybe we've got lazy and we are not really seeing the bigger truth. We may be thinking we're evolving and developing, but maybe we've actually neglected our relationship because we've gone too much on our direction and not enough bringing someone along with us on our journey, which they've agreed to be on. So yeah, those were the things. And I suppose in a relationship particularly is always, every day, useful. Why am I in this relationship? What was it? What attracted me to this person? What were those key values that superseded every other value, right? Direction, decision making wasn't the highest on my priority list, but the highest for me was someone who was trustworthy, someone that was safe, someone that loved me and would always be there for me, someone that would stand up for me. Those kinds of things were very important to me, and they will supersede anything. So if someone can't make a decision very well, yes, I'll be irritated. But guess what? The other stuff is so much more important. So we have to pay attention to those things and be very, very aware what were those values we got and really connect back to them, because that's where it allows us to bring the energy of love forward, right? And I think it's a state of active loving, right? We can't just love, we have to actively love.
It's a state of being.
Yeah, but it's a state of active loving.
Yeah. It's a state
Yes,
of
it's a state of
being.
being.
It's a state of the and the thing that comes to mind is you can love through, I mean, you can love through purpose as well, but you can love also with your values. And if you have your values set in place, this is how one usually expresses their love based on their core values. In order for you to offer or to share the love that you have internally. Yeah, I was thinking about what you were saying, and then a few things came to mind, and then I felt a wave of memories, like how for those who have intense feelings and emotions, right? It's difficult sometimes to handle the smallest of things. I've shared this before, but I'll share it again. Just me dropping off my kids at school or dropping them off at their mother's after they've been with me, that can bring tears to my eyes. Not because I'm losing them, not because I'm not seeing them. It's simply because their presence, like you were talking, their their state of being around me, their relationship, how I feel internally towards them, with everything that they are, with their flaws, with their good traits, with their crazy habits, whatever it may be, that intense feeling inside of me is how I know that I'm giving them 100%. Now, there are times where I know I'm also not giving them 100%. However, one needs, between quotation, to work on oneself in order to understand when you are giving 100% and when you're not, right? And to me, there's in Arabic, love is expressed in 13 different words. There are 13 words of love. In Greek, I think it's 5. It's levels, it's different types of love. It's almost as if you're giving that quantification, right, to love. It's different stages of love. And I think the thing that came to mind is if you believe in a higher power or God or whatever it is, that love that sometimes just thinking about that entity makes you cry, for instance, out of love, out of abundance, out of contentment, out of acceptance, out of respect, out of reliance, out of good, out of justice, out of all of these defining words. And you can feel similar to that. Not just a fraction of that to a person. To me, this comes to that 100% of love. If you can feel these words in a relationship, if you can feel the trust, if you can feel the reliance on that person, if you can feel the good in them, if you can feel the honesty, if you can feel the forgiveness, if you can feel acceptance, and that's you feeling these things for yourself first, that is when I know that, okay, that love, that is how I can define and say that love is 100%. With madness, with upsetness, with anger, with faults, with imperfections. But it looks like you have a question in mind now going on, something going on in your mind, Carol Ann.
It's still that use of 100%. It's like,
Forget about the 100%. The 100% is just it's a metaphor. It's a metaphor, or it's a physical visualization for people to see something like that. This is 100%. That's it. This is, you know, when your kids are, mom, dad, this is how much I love you.
yeah.
Okay, that's 100%.
And there's no end to it. It's like there aren't sort of boundaries. It's like endless. Yeah. Oh, okay. I get you. So, and I think it just comes down to language, doesn't it?
Of course.
Interpretation of wording. Yeah, absolutely. Because it's that being with somebody, it's being in that relationship. It's giving those times over to actually making it work. But I love what you were saying about the different words and the sort of express different levels of love, or different stages or types of love. I mean, that's beautiful. It really sort of it gives some richness to love, doesn't it? And I like that idea. Maybe that's something to look up. But I also come back to it does need to do, when you get together, I think both of you defining what love is for you is really important. And as you say, Kamal, it's what are your values? Because you can express your love through your values. Well, if that isn't someone else's value, they're not going to get it, and vice versa. So again, it's really coming together and communicating with each other. What are your values? What is love for you? How is it expressed? How do you like to receive it or experience it? But also opening up into exploring together the different ways love can be there. And I love what you said, Shireen, about gifting it. What a beautiful word. Because that way you're gifting it. It's not like you're giving something that then depletes you. Because I think that's where I hear the word give. It's like there's a depletion of yourself in a sense, but gifting is a giving, but there is no depletion within you. It's like it's just an extension from you in some way. But as you were saying, Namsa, yes, love is energy and it cannot be depleted. It's only you depleting it for yourself, allowing yourself to experience something. So having expectations and then getting disappointed because it's not coming up to your expectation, that's where the energy then gets depleted. So it's then bringing it back up, because we say that love is everywhere. Love is infinite, and it is a constant source, and there are constant sources of joy, things that give you joy. As Kamal, I love what you were saying about when you say, you say goodbye to your children, and it's like there's that feeling, there's that love there, and it's like
I have to find something to do, or call my mom, or do something else to distract myself.
Yeah, beautiful.
Why do you need to do that? Could you not just stay fully in that love, basking in it?
I do that on my own terms because it's this is the very Mediterranean part of me. This is that, you know, the Italian mother love, Spanish kind of, this is the Greek motherly love. That's what's in me. But yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I see how you, yeah, I can see how you feel, Kamal, because it's like, you know, when you love your children more, it's like when I go home, people always look at me like, is she normal? I always hug Babam and hold Babam and when we're walking because the true love that I feel in our heart, I know that is real. And I also like love uh uh Carol Ann, what you said just now, that love is a constant source that is just always flowing. If you need it, is there. And Shireen, you said, what is love? What is love want me to do right now? You have to ask yourself, like the question, what does love want me to do right now? I think those are really, really important questions that people, they have to ask themselves. And come out as well, you agreed with Shireen that love with like values. If we think about love, think about the values that you have. And I think that is really, really important. For me, when I started cleansing and started praying and connecting with God, people thought I had changed, but I didn't change. There was no changes in me. I had gone back to where connected with my inner child. That was true. And then I realized that actually I'm wasting time expecting people to love me, but I myself don't love myself fully. So why can't I just accept myself for who I am and then let everything flow to somebody else? Because I think you guys, when we began in Ghost Talk Shows, you remember when you guys used to, everyone will bring a point about something. I'll feel offended, or sometimes I'll be defending things, but now I don't. I just ask questions, how can we fix it and things like that. It's because it's all those things that I had to truly, truly work on myself. And when I did that, people around me couldn't understand it. They were like, that's not who I was like, no, that's actually who I am. That's the person that I have always been. For me, I was actually raised by love. I don't know anything else. Like if you buy me clothes, expensive clothes, like my parents, if they do this, but they'll always give me love. It's that love language, that my values, like family values, are important. The energy of acceptance. It's like I truly, truly accept you for who you are, unapologetic. But that's what changed with me. Nothing else. I found myself waking up one morning. I was like, what the heck am I doing? I'm just all over the place. But who is Nomsa? Nomsa is love. I need to love myself. But then when I fully accepted me, that's when I stopped worrying about what people are doing. If even my children, I was like, I stopped worrying. And also it was Carol Ann is doing too. Every time I ask Carol Ann, she'll be like, what is within you? What is attracting this around you? What is attracting this? So my prayer became, okay, God, give me the right energy that attract good things, that makes me attract good things or makes me be me. And those things changed as well. So I became that person that accept me for me. And anybody else that do what their things, I have to honor them. And I have to understand that I don't have authority to change who they are, but honor their present. And I had to imagine, like, if I was loving someone in a relationship and that person never to return home again, but I'm saying I love them, but I'm not really showing that love, truly accepting them with their flaws, how would that make me feel? And then I decided, you know what? I'm done following the world. I'm just gonna do what Kamal does with her children. Give it all. If they don't receive it all, I'm not bothered either. That's that's me. It's 8 minutes past 2, guys.
Yes. I think we've kind of come to the conclusion that we have to accept, right? We have to accept whatever's going on for the other person. I think that's one of the key things, that love is a blessing. It's a gift. We give, we offer it, which is Carmel's offering, and that there may be, the idea of those many kinds of love, and do we give this kind of love to each and every person, or the person that is in our particular relationship, do we give all of those to them? And if we say yes, we do, then guess what? We probably are giving the totality, maybe even more than we expect. And yeah, for me, this is really a pivotal subject, in just really helping people understand. When we started the topic of the 80%, we were really talking about qualities, not really about the quantity of love. I think that's what we started to realize as we started to have this discussion. Yes, so for me, I really would love to leave with a quote, which is, love doesn't have to be perfect to be powerful. Sometimes it's showing up, even with empty hands. That says the most.
I think I'm gonna leave everybody with the 13 words.
Yes, I love that.
And a short explanation. It's going to be quick. So the first level of love is al-hawa, which means a desire or whim that arises spontaneously, attraction, infatuation. The second one is al-alaqa, or attachment, right? Becoming emotionally invested, to clingy to someone. As-sababa, which is yearning, or obsession starts to build over someone. Then you have al-gharam, which is passionate love, a clinging pain that does not leave you towards someone. You have al-khalaf, which is love that begins to cost you your balance of or self. Then you have al-ishq, which is intensely passionate love. Okay. Then you have a sharaf, which is the sharaf is the outer membrane of the heart. So it's an irrational or biological piercing of the heart, of the core, right? Piercing love, let's put it this way, heart piercing love. El-wajd, love that echoes in absence. And then you have number 9 is a shawq, which is yearning or deep desire to reunite. And then you have al-wid, which is loyal love, steady, warm, and affection. And then you have al-khulla, and that is total trust and soul level friendship. And then you have number 12, il-hayum, which is kind of a derangement, a wandering aimlessly in love. And then it culminates to the highest level of love, which is el-tatayyum. The literal translation would be enslavement in love, but it's more of where you lose yourself entirely in love. And those are the 13 levels of love, or words that describe love.
Beautiful. There's different stages.
Mm.
Lovely. Yeah. Oh. So yeah, I think for me, it's comes down to its self-awareness that actually helps us to love more realistically and more deeply. So it's about self-awareness, which because then you can shift the relationship, you can grow that love and deepen. It's about the depth of love that is there. And I think it's a great question, or rephrasing of the question, rather than can they give me 100%? Maybe ask, can we create a relationship where presence, effort, and truth are alive, even when life is messy? So it comes down to what Shireen, you were saying about somebody, there's bits you don't particularly like, but you're still there, you're still present, you're making that effort. And it's a loving effort. It's because you want to create and develop the relationship and deepen the love, so you find a way. So yeah, can we create a relationship where presence, effort, and truth are alive, even when life is messy?
That's powerful, Carol Ann. Maybe topic for next week. What do you think? Because when life is messy, people run. Most relationship breaks.
Yeah.
Maybe for a topic, you can just look into it and maybe give us a topic based on that. For me, guys, I'm just gonna keep it simple. Acceptance. Accept your world. And if the other person, they are not abusive, they respect you, it gets worse. It doesn't get better than that. So you might as well accept their world. And really, I think it's just not taking each other for granted. That's all I can say. That accept that person and live a life to the fullest. Because when we're busy wanting that 20% from somebody, we are depriving ourselves of that joy. But joy comes from you. You make yourself a happy honey. The whole world screams that like, oh, what's happening? So yeah, guys, if you're watching us from social media, Facebook, we have two groups, Ngozi Talk Shows and Unique Billionaire Mindset. Please do go to the groups, join the groups and be part of the family. And like our page as well, we have two pages, HSEIA and Ngozi Talk Shows page. And follow us on our social media, guys. You can follow Kamau on his social media, Shireen or Carol Ann. And I know you guys, you don't have to watch us, but you can follow them as well. I know there's lots of people that are following me, so you can follow them as well, so that when you find yourself wanting a coach, these people are coaches, and get in touch with them as well. If you have any problems, you can go to the website as well. It's www.hseia.coach and sign up. Coaching is a different page, and a relationship is a different page as well. And subscribe to our YouTube channel as well and be part of the family and live with grace, everyone. I shall be with you tomorrow.